Something's coming, something good.
Something is coming. Something big.
Just when you thought it was safe to turn on YouTube, Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Something's coming.
And it's certainly not me.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Something dark.
Then again, it could be me. And I do realize when I kick this video off, I'm going to be competing with thousands of other people who love Star Wars, who make cringe thumbnails like this to get their access to Disney media in the future. But moi, nope, I don't do that because I download all my files illegally from Miss Anne Bonny herself with those beautiful bosoms. And you know what? She gives me some good loving in return. So yeah, don't pay a subscription to Disney Plus. Just go to the high seas, meet someone like Miss Bonny, and away you go.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Eat lightning and shit thunder with Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Hail to the hot dog, baby.
Well, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but watching woke entertainment, reacting to things that are so bad now, it's turned me into Quint from Jaws.
$10,000 for me by myself. For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
And I kind of like that compliment because a few of my subscribers have told me exactly that. I mean, at this stage, you might as well consider making me the new face for Captain Birdseye.
I think he's the best looking man on the face of the earth. When he isn't on television, life simply isn't worth living.
Ahsoka, ass hooker, as I like to call her. I watched the first 2 episodes today. Is it a life-changing experience? Is it a baptism of fire? Definitely not. And look, I like Rosario Dawson. I do prefer the younger version. I mean, as she's getting older, she's probably bowing into this ESG nonsense, which is fair enough. But honestly, Star Wars Rebels, I did watch it back in the day, and I guess now I wouldn't go back and watch it because I am kind of put off by the animation where all the characters have lollipop heads and small bodies. I don't get that design. Why Dave Filoni, and I'm going to get back to him in a minute because the man is full of baloney, Miss Filoni, or should I say Mr. Filoni? No, actually, Miss Filoni sounds about correct. But I didn't really get into the rest of it. I don't know why I just got put off by it. I think it became too melodramatic and the fan base was a little bit divided. But honestly, the one cardinal sin of many sins that this show has committed is that we don't get the traditional Star Wars crawl. It is just a lazy paragraph in blood red writing that just explains a few things, but it doesn't take into account, if you've never seen the animated series, how the hell would you know who Ezra Bridger is? I mean, for the purposes of this review, folks, I'm just going to call him Ezra Miller because it's so much more funny. Our fearless heroine, Ahsoka, is just looking around. She's doing all this pensive staring, and she looks at the floor below her because where else would the floor be? Well, it could be on the ceiling, actually. If you turn the camera upside down, she creates a hole, jumps inside, and I'm not kidding, literally in this scene, there are 2 pillars beside her, and she walks to one, and then she waddles over to the other, does a couple of turns, puzzle solved. I mean, if you've played the original Uncharted games with Nathan Drake as voiced by Nolan North, he carries around with him a notebook on puzzles he has encountered in his countless of hours being in a library, just making valuable notes, illustrations. And when he solves a puzzle in those games, it's done with a lot more finesse, more seriousness. But hey, this is female Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to solve a puzzle in a few clicks and that's it. Now, after the puzzle is solved, she holds aloft, I'm not kidding, it looks like a Terry's chocolate egg. I mean, she refers to it as an egg. Oh my god, I'm so hungry right now. So when she resurfaces, she is surrounded by 4 droids who want that egg map. Yes, it's a map in the shape of an egg. Who would have guessed? Well, because she just came out of the ground, you think the droids would have been smart enough to know that she's got something else planned up her sleeve. But nope, the droids apparently, all male as well, no genitalia to speak of, but they've got male vocals. She starts to create black holes for which they fall through. And at this stage, I would have liked Ahsoka to have created a glory hole and end our misery right there. I do realize while I'm talking in this review, there are a pair of breasts staring at me, but I'll do my best to keep a straight face and carry on, because I am the savior. I am the soldier that you need right now. Anyway, Dave Filoni, Space Virgin, Beta Male Supreme. He's the man who is helming the show without Jon Favreau, because Mr. Favreau had the decency and the earnest to walk away from this shit show of a project. I will say the world that is in Ahsoka is bland, soulless, clueless, cheap. Occasionally it can look nice, but it's not lived in. It's far too clean, which is a big criticism that I have. If you watch Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards, at least that actually had a semblance of a lived-in world. I mean, the director even went on record as saying that's what they wanted to do with it. And speaking of world building, I kept drifting away to the Starfield leaks that I've been watching over the weekend. And honestly, I'll say 2 things about what the leaks I've seen. And if you're a gamer, you'd probably agree with me on this. Starfield feels like the Mass Effect Andromeda game that we should have gotten, but we didn't. And also Mass Effect, like the original trilogy, does Star Wars better than Star Wars can do right now. I mean, isn't that an amazing thing? I mean, BioWare obviously are behind Mass Effect. They were behind some of the older Star Wars games for the PC and console generation back then. So it's kind of funny that I'm talking about Mass Effect in more reverence than I am with Star Wars right now, which is slowly dying a death. Is the Acolyte going to happen after this travesty that is Ahsoka? I think it still will go ahead, folks, honestly, and I'm actually hoping it does, because it's going to be absolutely atrocious. Speaking of which, there's a lack of masculinity in the first 2 episodes I've seen. You get the likes of Clancy Brown, Mark Rolston, Ray Stevenson showing up and just to be usurped by the all-powerful female brigade. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in this series as well. Should I say series? And she's a good actress. And oh my goodness, they really dialed it down on her appearance, on all the females' appearances. With the exception of one, and I'll get to her in a minute as well, all covered up, no cleavage showing. At this moment in time, I was thinking about the actress who is going to be in a live action version of Marvel's New Warriors, Squirrel Girl. And the character herself is okay, but if you saw the actress who was playing her, everybody, all the fanboys were just getting masturbatingly excited. So was I. Except that just never happened in the end, so we can only live and learn and just yearn for what could have been. Female representation, Star Wars, go to sleep like Patrick Stewart. I certainly did. It's just insufferable. At one point, Winstead and Rosario Dawson go to this Empire hideout and they're having a conversation like, why do people still support the Empire and not with the Rebel Alliance? For me personally, who would I side with? Of course it'd be the Empire. It's more exciting, it's more sexy. It's the same reason why we latched on to Johnny Lawrence when they brought back Cobra Kai in 2018. Because for a long time when you watch the movies, you were a Daniel LaRusso fanboy. But honestly, when you know that Johnny Lawrence was hard bitten by and kicked to the nuts, you're more on this guy's side. So I'm definitely Team Lawrence and I'm Team Darth Vader. Yeah, I know, sacrilegious, right? Terrible, awful. Oh, which does bring me on to the acting in this series. Sorry, series. You know, you've got seasoned performers like Rosario Dawson, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and you've got this person playing Sabine Wren, yeah, named after a bird. Again, all flat pancake tits and no ass.
12 seconds later.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is an example of dead air acting. I don't know about you, but I rather enjoy that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the old lightsaber through the stomach routine once again. Whoopie-doo! Yeah, that routine where apparently if you're white and male and a real badass and you get stabbed through the stomach with a lightsaber, you're immediately dead. Or if you're struck from the side like Darth Vader did to Obi-Wan in 1977. I was a kid then and I was traumatized, but if you're a female force and not a ghost, oh boy, you can survive to live another day. The episodes of this series, the first one was called Master and Apprentice, and the second one was Bubble Bubble, Toil and Trouble. Why is that a bewitching title? Because one of the characters whom Ray Stevenson broke out at the beginning, her name is Morgane or Morgana. I mean, the only Morgana Le Fay I love and revere with so much lust and passion. Well, there's Helen Mirren in Excalibur, and of course there's Elizabeth Hurley in The Runaways. Yes, it's a Marvel show for the family, but you got the true depiction of Morgana Le Fay in all her busty glory. So Miss Hurley, once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can see clearly now. Anyway, what was I saying? I've got a theory as to why Hollywood doesn't want to kill females off in their films. It's to do with the real world. You know, if you tune into the news, you're going to hear about a really horrible murder of a woman who's minding her own business. And I guess what Hollywood, how they interpret that is, well, we can't have that anymore. We can't have this misogyny towards women. We're going to make sure rewrite that differently in our fiction going forwards. So women who die will miraculously come to life in the next episode. It's okay for men in the real world to suffer a horrible crime, which they do on a day-to-day basis. But in the fictionalized world of Hollywood, no, they just stay dead and that's it. So I find that a very weird approach. You can't stay true to the law of what happens when a lightsaber strikes you from the side or through the stomach or anywhere else. No, apparently you just, if you're a female, the force is strong and you can live long and prosper. I know it's the wrong franchise, but it feels so relevant right here, right now. Now, my optics might be off slightly, but I could have sworn at the end of episode 1, Sabine gets stabbed through the stomach with a lightsaber. She lays on the floor, dead. Episode 2 rolls on. What happens? She's in a hospital bed, recovering. How come Qui-Gon Jinn died in The Phantom Menace? And of course, The Force Awakens, Han Solo dies through being stabbed with a lightsaber. But yeah, those men of Caucasian nationality died for their sins, but apparently women in Star Wars can get stabbed like Reva did in Obi-Wan and somehow make a miraculous recovery. And the last point I'm going to make here is that this Hollywood strike that is going on because the actors and actresses, directors, all the behind the scenes people are rebelling against artificial intelligence and higher pay. Well, I'm going to say something now that's going to really set the feathers on fire. Bring on the AI. Honestly, for my videos right now, I do incorporate a bit of AI into it. AI is so much fun because it's subservient. You type in a few words, you tell the AI what you want, and it gives it to you. That's it. It's not going to backclip you. It's not going to slap you in the face like an insufferable little bint. Nope, it will do what you tell it to do, which is great. It is non-binary. It's neither male nor female, but it will give you the images that you want. Now, in the first episode, Sabine refers to Ahsoka as Master, which is incorrect because that's a masculine term for a man, a male trainer. And she's a Padawan. She was never qualified as a Jedi when she left. She didn't finish her apprentice training. So how is she so proficient? I don't know. I don't care. But then a few moments later, a droid, played by David Tennant, refers to her as Lady Ahsoka or Lady Tano. So why didn't she slap the robot in the face and say, "Excuse me, it's Master, do you hear me?" There is also a moment in this series where Mary Elizabeth's character sees a hyperspace core drive outside in the backyard, and immediately we're told by the less superior male commander that it was salvaged from a SSD. So technology held literally in the palm of your hand, a solid state drive. Who would have guessed, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you what I can guess and what I can predict. What a disaster the female Star Wars is going to be going forward. Rey Palpatine coming back? Oh! Yeah, bring it. I don't care. It's going to be an absolute disaster. I feel sorry for Daisy Ridley. She obviously needs the money right now to support her and her family.
Do you miss being Rey? Are you going to make a return to Star Wars?
I'll always be Rey.
Oh! I love that soundbite.
Oh, it's going to be a glorious mess, folks. Disney is in so much trouble right now. They can't even keep their Titanic of a model afloat for much longer, with all the craziness with Rachel Zegler and everything else being left behind, because even Deadpool 3 has been delayed now to the actor strikes. So what a shame, folks. And as this strike goes on, the actors and actresses will age by another year. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence stays youthful and young for eternity. So on that one, folks, if I were you, and if you were me, and if you can feel the force, leave a like below, share and share alike, and I'll see you, if you were me, on the next video.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.